For the third time in this week alone, the Saugerties Stallions head back to Eastfield to take on the Glens Dragons in midst of a 4-game win streak. Good evening, everyone. Welcome into the traveling Ulster Savings broadcast booth here at Eastfield. I'm John Drager. Joining alongside me this time is Logan Barandis. Kyle McMullen not making the trip up to Glens Falls at this time. We miss you dearly, buddy. We hope you feel better. But regardless, the Stallions are feeling pretty good right now considering that they are on a 4-game win streak. 2 of those coming against these Dragons.
First of all, we hope Kyle does come back from the dead soon. But looking at this winning streak, the Stallions have had these Dragons' numbers so far during the season and have won by pretty wide margins during that win streak against these Dragons. They came in comeback fashion yesterday, won at home against the Oneonta Outlaws in a game where they didn't have their first lead until the 7th inning. So the Stallions, they have the momentum right now, and they've jumped all the way to second place in the East Division, and they have a chance to not jump even further, but extend their lead even further tonight.
Exactly, and a huge help not only from the Stallions themselves, but from the Amsterdam Mohawks, who currently have a chokehold on the first place spot in the East Division. They managed to beat the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs last night and took an opportunity for the Stallions to jump up all the way to second. And Saugerties, they're looking to try to continue on this streak that they find themselves in right now. And currently looking at the standings, Amsterdam does lead in the East Division with a 32-4 record. Saugerties, I'd say about 11 and a half games behind.
Close to it. With
15-1 record. But usually you see that Amsterdam has that top spot. It's a dogfight between 2, 3, 4, and 5. With Saugerties in second, Mohawk Valley a game behind them with a 19-16 record. The Oneonta Outlaws sitting at 500 with a 17-17 record, and they're taking on the Albany Dutchmen, who is currently at a 16-17 record. Those two are having a doubleheader tonight at Damaski Field. And Albany, they were at that second spot in the East Division for quite some time, but this past week they took a fall. 3-7 in their last 10 games for the Dutchmen.
Yeah, and just playing those top teams in the East Division hasn't really helped them out there. They've played Amsterdam twice and lost to them both times, and took on Oneonta a couple times this week as well. And then, of course, that game in Albany against the Stallions, where the Stallions came out on top. It's been a rough sledding for these Stallions, and you mentioned it, just other teams around the division have helped them out so much over these past couple days, and Amsterdam's doing a lot of the dirty work for the Stallions. They take on Mohawk Valley yet again today, and coming into yesterday, Saugerties and Mohawk Valley pretty much neck and neck for that second and third place spot respectively, and coming into this game, John, Saugerties holding the edge over Mohawk Valley.
Yes, and those teams alone really need to make a push. Saugerties looking to try to pull away and try to secure that second place spot and try to close the gap even closer to try to reach Amsterdam. And a good step forward is currently on this 4-game win streak, looking for number 5 tonight against the Glens Falls Dragons. And why don't we take a look at the Saugerties Stallions batting lineup, brought to you by Amatech, supplier to military and aerospace. Leading off for the Stallions will be the center fielder in Jelani Riders, finally taking over that leadoff spot since Max Codier is currently out. Evan Goforth will bat second. He'll be at short today. Brandon Fish sitting in that third spot that has been his most of the season. He'll be at the hot corner. Garrison Berkeley, tonight's designated hitter. He'll bat fourth, cleaning things up. David Shackleford returns to the lineup. He'll be in left field and bat fifth. JP Ty, he'll take a break behind the dish and be tonight's extra hitter. He'll bat number 6. Brett Heckert will go to second base. He'll bat 7th. Behind him will be Nico Amory, the catcher behind the dish tonight. Mason Speaker returning to the first base bag for quite some time. He'll bat 9th, and rounding out the lineup will be the right fielder in TJ Adams. And on the mound for Glens Falls will be a familiar face that the Stallions played just 2 days ago, and Daniel Cohen.
Yeah, not a lot of rest for Daniel Cohen, one of the all-stars from this Glens Falls team. He went an inning of work against the Stallions, only allowed 1 hit, 1 unearned run, while striking out 2 in that game. And the Dragons, they have 6 wins on the season, but their biggest win came at Amsterdam, and Cohen was a big reason why. Pitched 8 innings, only allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 6 walks in that upset victory.
And Cohen is looking to have that same ace behavior against the Stallions as we're just about set to go here from Eastfield. Taking a look at the defensive setup for the Dragons. Will Manette will be behind the plate catching Cohen's pitches. In the infield, Danny Mosher at first, Mario Cubello at second, Phoenix Bowman at short, Reese DeCastro at third. Quentin Bowman making his debut against Saugerties. He'll be in left field, followed by Corey Listing in center and Philip Carpata manning the right field line. Jelani Rogers set to dig in for the first time tonight. Umpire gives the green light to go ahead. Going from the windup, and we are underway here from East Field. Rogers taking that one outside for strike number 1.
And Rogers 0 for 4 yesterday from the leadoff spot. He has missed both the Glens Falls games this past week.
Now making his debut here for East Field. The 0-1 from Cohen, outside again, this time called ball.
And Rogers coming to today with a .278 batting average. Had a 3-hit game with 2 RBIs against the Dutchman a couple days ago.
Quick pitch from Cohen, jams Rogers inside, doesn't swing, but that will be called strike number 2. So a quick 1-2 hole here for the leadoff hitter.
And Cohen with a 2.55 ERA on the year. Definitely been the ace for these Dragons this year.
Cohen with a long pause in the 1-2, swung on and popped up goes Rogers, heading into foul territory. Manette tracking that one and making the grab for out number 1. So Rogers will start off his day with a pop-up and a foul territory, and that'll bring up the shortstop in Evan Goforth.
And Rogers' struggles continuing into this game early on. Cohen jams him a good amount in that at-bat, and Rogers ends up popping up to end the first out for the Stallions.
He'll now step into the box for the first time tonight. With the long pause, Cohen fires, swung on and missed, goes Goforth for strike number 1. That's something we've seen with Goforth a lot early in his at-bats down the stretch. Just a lot of swinging first pitches. Going with the 0-1. Check swing right there, but going around is Goforth, and now he sits in an 0-2 hole with 1 out.
Goforth currently on an 11-game on-base streak heading into today. Went 0 for 2 with 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and an RBI yesterday.
From the stretch, Cohen fires upstairs and away for a 1-2 count now.
Goforth has some great performances against these Dragons so far this year. Just 5 days ago, went 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs.
Pitch goes low and away this time, making the count even. So Goforth, after going down 0-2, is slowly battling back.
And that's what Goforth does. He doesn't go down easy in these counts. Doesn't strike out too much at the plate.
The 2-2 from Cohen. Downstairs, bounced into the dirt, and the count is now full at 3-2. And you mentioned Goforth went 3 of 3 in their first meeting earlier this week, back on Sunday. 4 runs, 2 RBIs, and an OBP of 1,000. Looking for similar results here with the payoff pitch from Cohen. Swung on and a dribbler down the third base line, but it just moves foul.
We talk about the 3-hit game that Goforth had. That's actually one of 3 times Goforth has had 3 hits in a game. 2 of them have come against the Dragons. The other one was when the Stallions went all the way to Watertown.
Seemed to be having great success on the road here, as last time out he went 1 of 5 with a single and a stolen base. We'll do it again with the full count pitch, and that'll go upstairs for ball 4, and Stallions have a runner on with 1 out.
Make it a 12-game on-base streak for Evan Goforth. Just always finds a way to get on base, and that's why he's consistently found himself high in the lineup at that number 2 spot.
And now that'll bring up one of the hotter bats as of late for the Stallions in Brandon Fish. Fish now digging on in. First pitch he sees from Cohen will go inside for ball number 1.
And Fish has been on an absolute tear these past 4 games, each one finishing with 2 hits, 2 of those games against the Dragons.
Cohen now looking on over to Goforth. He kicks and fires, swung on, and a dribbler right past the glove of Mosher, and that'll go in for a base hit. Goforth rounding second, heading for third. Fish holding up at that first base bag, and that'll put runners on the corners here with 1 out.
Now a 5-game hitting streak for Brandon Fish continues to have an outstanding week at the plate, and it keeps the inning going for someone who's not normally hitting cleanup for the Stallions, but hitting there today, and Garrison Berkeley.
And now Berkeley will step up with runners on the corners, and we'll see how aggressive third base coach Adam Cray will do.
This is Berkeley's just third time this year hitting cleanup, normally a spot reserved for Jake Skrine or Garrett Michelle, both of whom had the night off.
Both power hitters taking the night off, and now Berkeley having an opportunity to keep his bat loud and going. First pitch he'll see will go up into the strike zone for an 0-1 count.
Berkeley's got 6 RBIs in his last 3 starts. 4 of them came against Glens Falls, went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs in yesterday's game against the Outlaws.
Cohen kicks and fires, and now just catch that inside edge for strike 2. So an 0-2 hole here for Berkeley.
It's been pretty obvious where Cohen wants to attack these hitters early on the inside. Jelani Rogers couldn't really adjust to that inside pitch, and now attacking Berkeley the same way early.
Cohen now slowing down the tempo, firing from the stretch, swung on and missed for strike 3. 3-pitch strikeout here for Garrison Berkeley. Now 2 away here for the Stallions. That'll bring up David Shackleford, who's currently manning in the left field. And we've seen the power behind Shackleford's bat time in and time again with, I believe, 2 home runs on the year.
And both those home runs came very early in the season, both during the month of June.
Shackleford will take that one low and away for ball number 1.
And both of Shackleford's last starts came against the Dragons, a combined 2 for 6 with 3 walks.
Fish on first, Goforth at third. Cohen fires, swung on and missed for strike number 1. Goes Shackleford, and it looks like he might have gotten a piece of it based on the umpire's signal.
This is the first time Shackleford's hit at the number 5 spot this year, and just the second time he's hit above number 6, hit leadoff in a game against Mohawk Valley in mid-June.
Now looking to try to create some magic here with 2 outs, something that the Stallions know very well. Cohen with the 1-1, that'll go outside for ball number 2. Taking a look at David Shackleford so far on the season. .270 with 13 RBIs. Looking for 14 here, driving in Goforth at third. Cohen kicks and fires, swung on, and a ripper right up the middle for a base hit. Goforth will score. Fish on his horse. He'll head into third standing, and the runner's still on the corners, but it's a 1-0 advantage for Saugerties.
This is exactly the start you wanted if you're the Stallions, and that 2-out magic kind of playing itself into this game yet again, but facing one of the better pitchers in this Glens Falls pitching staff, jumping on him early with 2 quick hits and an RBI. Stallions taking that early lead.
And now J.P. Ty stepping up to the plate for the 3rd time this season. He'll take that one up and in for strike number 1.
Yeah, and Ty made his presence felt in his debut yesterday against Oneonta, threw out a runner over at second base, and got on via hit by pitch during that big 7th inning for the Stallions.
Cohen will throw that one low and away, evening the count at 1. And something to note, the last time these 2 teams played here at Eastfield, I believe a good majority of the runs, I'd have to say half of those runs, were scored with 2 outs, and that came in a 4-run rally back in the top of the 4th in that 9-2 victory for the Stallions. Swing and a miss goes Ty, and he finds himself in a 1-2 count.
This is Ty's first road trip for the Stallions this year, but definitely not the first road trip he's had with the Stallions altogether, since he did play a good portion of last year with the Stallions.
So Ty swings and misses on that one for strike 3, but he'll get to first base safely and score Fish at the same time. 2-0 Stallions, and 2 runners still on.
Maybe a little bit of a strategic swing for J.P. Ty. It was well out of the zone, but probably had that feeling that Manette wasn't going to grab onto that ball, and Fish was able to easily score from third to extend the lead.
And now that'll bring up Brett Heckert, a .274 hitter on the air, and his last 2 games actually came here against Glens Falls. I'll take that first pitch away for ball number 1. And so far, he's a combined 2 of 7 here at Eastfield with 4 RBIs.
And those have been his last 2 games played. He had the night off yesterday against Oneonta.
The 1-0 outside again, still called a ball. 2-0 count now. Taking a look at the scoreboard early here in this top of the first. 2 runs, 2 hits for Saugerties. Glens Falls not even a chance to get to the bats. The 7th hitter that Daniel Cohen has faced today. He looks back at second and fires. Outside again in the pickoff attempt, trying to get Ty. Will be in time for out number 3. So regardless, 7 batters technically faced, but 2 runs come across home plate, and the Stallions have an early 2-0 lead over the Glens Falls Dragons. Don't go anywhere. More action to come from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. Welcome back to Eastfield here in Glens Falls, New York, as the Stallions hold a 2-0 lead heading into the bottom of the first against the Glens Falls Dragons. We'll take a look at the defensive structure for Saugerties, brought to you by Nacarado Insurance. Over 50 years, 50 carriers. They've got you covered. Behind the plate tonight will be Nico Amory, followed by the infield of first baseman Mason Speaker. Brett Heckert heading back out to the second base bag with Goforth to his right at shortstop. Brandon Fish manning the hot corner once again. David Shackleford heading into left field, manned by Rogers in center field, and TJ Adams out into the outfield at right. And starting on the mound for the Stallions tonight will be the Minnesota pitcher in Noah DeLuga. So far 1-1 on the year with a 4.68 ERA, and in 25 innings has 22 strikeouts to 12 walks and 23 hits.
Yeah, and like his counterpart in Daniel Cohen, not getting much time to rest before this game. Made his last appearance 3 days ago against the Dutchman on the road. Came in relief for the first time this year. Went 3 innings, allowed 4 runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts, getting the no decision.
Yeah, and that was going to be a huge relief out of the pen, especially with Bryce Reimer getting the nod to start that day against the Dutchman, and having DeLuga coming out of the pen, a usual starter in the rotation, is going to be a great thing to have. And taking a look at his line, only giving up those 4 runs, 2 of them came in with Drake Quinn entering into the game, so having that a little bit of a disconfidence booster, but with DeLuga, he seems like he's ready to bounce back here against Glens Falls. And he'll have to deal with the top of the lineup with Philip Carpata.
Yeah, this will be DeLuga's 3rd time facing Glens Falls so far this season. He's only allowed 1 earned run in 7 innings in those starts. Still has not gotten a win or a loss against these Dragons.
And now Carpata will dig right into the right-handed batter's box. DeLuga getting the green light to go. From the stretch, he fires. That will go low into the dirt for a ball and 1.
And Carpata, a St. Joseph's athlete, hit .382 with 24 RBIs during his last collegiate season.
Here's the 1-0 from DeLuga. Down Main Street for strike number 1. Count even.
Carpata has a .250 average against Noah DeLuga this year, a slight jump from his .238 clip.
Here's the 1-1, swung on and fouled over the Glens Falls dugout. 1-2. And taking a look back at his last 2 games against the Stallions, a combined 1 of 6 with a total of 1 run and 2 strikeouts. Looking to change the narrative here. Carpata will take that one low and away, making the count even at 2.
Yeah, DeLuga, much more of a pitch-to-contact type guy, just 22 strikeouts through his 25 innings pitched, so just looking to create soft contact so the Stallion defensive alignment can make a play.
Chopper down the first baseline, hooks foul. And going back to Carpata, he's been a little bit aggressive on the base pass when he's managed to get on. Got caught stealing last time against Nico Amory.
And Amory's at catcher today.
So hopefully the Glens Falls Dragons learned their lesson from last time. Carpata sends a screamer down the third baseline, but rolling foul. The leadoff hitter for Glens Falls doing everything in his power to try to keep this at-bat alive.
Yeah, and with DeLuca having pitched so recently, pitch count could be a concern for Rich Doobie and for Colin Martin.
The lefty kicks and fires, down low, making the count full here. And you mentioned he came into relief for the Stallions and really trying to work around, trying to help Reimer get the win on the night. Here's a 3-2. Ground ball sent over to shortstop. Goforth corrals that one. Throws it on over to first. And Carpata will be punched out for out number 1.
Carpata made it a much closer play than it probably should have been. Nothing really Goforth could have done. He approached that ball very well and delivered a good throw on a speaker. But Carpata's speed, and you mentioned it earlier, John, he made it a close play over there.
Absolutely. Using his speed, Goforth taking his time, trying to make sure he secures the ground ball. But either way, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. And that'll bring up Mario Cubello, the second baseman. First pitch will go inside and low on the breaking ball.
Stallions have their off day on 2 days on Monday. Still need to get through one more game before then, so you really want to try not to use too many relievers in this game.
Pitch will go on the outside corner for strike number 1.
And especially with that game tomorrow being against the Amsterdam Mohawks.
I believe that game tomorrow will be against Glens Falls, and then Amsterdam would be
2
Sunday.
more games. Get ahead of myself.
As Cubello swings and misses for strike 2. I feel like you're getting a little bit tired of seeing Glens Falls this week.
It's been a lot. I'm not going to lie.
3 matchups so far with them starting on Sunday. Saturday will be the last of 4 games. Cubello sends that one back into the netting. Count remaining the same at 1-2.
Just proves my point even more. You want to save as many relievers as you can for these 2 games.
Well, we'll have to see how deep into the bullpen goes Colin Martin and Rich Doobie. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. DeLuca fires and now send a chopper down the third base line. Brandon Fish hooks that one and does not make the throw over to first. An infield single ruled here for Mario Cubello. And the Glens Falls Dragons have a runner on first.
Yeah, it's more of one of those swinging bunts you see pretty much in all levels. And nothing that DeLuca or Fish could have done. That ball was not going to hook foul. And Cubello's going to get his infield single.
Now that'll bring up the center fielder in Corey Listing. And taking a look back at Cubello, the last time these 2 teams faced off on Wednesday, Cubello did manage to go on via a single to lead things off in the bottom of the first back at East Field. Listing will take that one inside at the hands for ball 1. Cubello, in the meantime, was 2 of 4 on that night with 2 singles and a strikeout. Listing now digging in with a runner on first. DeLuca checking out the runner, kicks and fires. Swung on and fouled back into the netting behind home plate. 1-1 count.
And Listing hasn't gotten too much playing time so far this year. 67 at-bats, hitting .223 on the year.
Glens Falls, a team hitting .218 as a squad on the year with 95 RBIs. The 1-1 downstairs and into the dirt for a 2-1 count. And this is a team on par with the Stallions in the stolen base category. 68 stolen bags on the year compared to the Stallions' 72. The 2-1 for DeLuca gets fouled off the leg of Listing. Count now even.
Yeah, the Stallions have been one of the more aggressive teams when it comes to just stealing a bag, executing a hit and run so far on the year, and we haven't seen Glens Falls be as aggressive when they've come and played the Stallions, and when they've tried, it really hasn't been successful most of the time.
Absolutely. 26 times the Dragons got caught stealing compared to the Stallions' 11. Now looking for an opportunity here. Cabello steps back. Listing sends a ball down the first base line, but hooking foul. Count remaining the same at 2-2. Taking a look back here for Glens Falls. I believe they only tried to steal a few bags, but none really registered. Only the one time was Philip Krapata trying to steal third and got caught by Amory. He's now behind the dish tonight. 2-2, ground ball down the third base line, rolling foul. So Glens Falls looking to try to up the pitch count of Noah DeLuga, who's currently about to eclipse the 20s.
And looking into DeLuga a little deeper, the Big Ten just named their all-academic honorees. Noah DeLuga was on there, one of the few Minnesota athletes to be on there.
Well, congratulations to Noah DeLuga on receiving that distinguished award. So he throws that one outside and low for a full count.
DeLuga, one of two left-handed pitchers to be an academic Big Ten for Minnesota, this year.
Golden Gophers highly represented here with DeLuga as he fires. Listing sending one over the head of Goforth, and that'll go in for a base hit. That'll move Cabello over to second, and now with one out, the Dragons have two runners on.
DeLuga's been stuck in a lot of long at-bats to open up his day, and they haven't ended in the results that he's wanted so far, and now DeCastro looking to keep things going.
And now Reese DeCastro stepping on up to the plate now with one out and two runners on in the bottom of the first. Taking a look back at the last time he went against the Stallions here at East Field, he managed to go 1 of 2 with a walk and a single. Now he's stepping on in. Infield playing relatively back towards the outfield grass. First pitch DeCastro sees. Will be catching that outside corner for strike number 1. Taking a look back at the last time for the Glens Falls Dragons. Only managed to get one hit in that bottom first frame. Now has 2 here, as DeCastro sends one back into the netting. Count now sitting at 0-2 here. DeCastro looking to avoid being the second out of the inning.
And DeCastro, one of the big power bats in this Glens Falls lineup, does have 2 home runs, which would be tied for second if he were a Stallion.
That would be tied for second, right with Brandon Fish and David Shackleford, who are in the lineup tonight. Here's the 0-2 from DeLuga. Off-speed, ground ball over to third base. Fish will make the force out at third, turning it over to first base for the out. A double play gets Noah DeLuga out of the inning, and the Stallions still hold a 2-0 lead heading into the top of the second. Don't go anywhere. More Saugerties Stallion baseball is on the way after this. Saugerties Stallion Baseball brought to you by Bob Gehring Septic. Honest, dependable, reliable. If you need it pumped out, call Bob. Diamond Mills, world-class amenities and refined luxury. and by Dwyer Contracting. High quality craftsmanship and a family owned business. We head now into the top of the second inning. 2-0 the Stallions lead the Glens Falls Dragons here at Eastfield for the third matchup in just under a week here between these two teams.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of Glens Falls that the Stallions have seen, and it's not close to the end for these two teams. They will face off a few more times following this matchup.
And first, Brett Heckert will step up to the plate technically for the second time tonight, but did not register an at-bat at that last inning as J.P. Ty got caught stealing at first on the pickoff attempt from Manette over to Mosher.
Can you call it caught stealing if you really didn't do much?
I don't know. I believe we'll give it up to the statistician over there as Heckert will take that one low and away for strike number one.
And Ty had a huge lead out towards that first base bag, and with Shackleford already on second, there wasn't really going to be much of a chance for a double steal with 2 outs.
The trick swing will be called safe there by Heckert. Counts now even at 1-1. Sunny sky here as it's slowly setting over the buildings and trees of Glens Falls. Not a cloud in sight. 1-1 from Cohen in his second inning of work. Puts that one low and away, this time for a ball.
Yeah, and Cohen was a little bit wild in that first inning, allowed a walk to Evan Goforth, and allowed J.P. Ty to reach on a wild pitch despite striking him out.
Heckert currently on a 3-game hitting streak. We'll take that one low for a 3-1 count now.
Has 6 RBIs during that hitting streak.
That's something to note. That's probably why he's sitting in that 7 slot, possibly, just in case if the cleanup hitters get on, more RBIs to come from the bat of Heckert. He'll take that one down Main Street for a full count now.
And that scenario played itself out, but Heckert didn't really get a chance to keep the inning going.
No, not at all. From Ty, getting that huge lead off that first base bag. Now the payoff pitch to Heckert. Low and away, 4-4. And now a leadoff runner this time for Saugerties.
Great at-bat there from Heckert. Didn't swing the bat too much. Didn't really get the chance to. But it's a leadoff runner for the Stallions this inning, which they didn't have in the first.
And now Nico Amory, usually going into that 9 and 10 spot in the lineup, has jumped all the way up to 8. Here, he'll go.
What a jump.
What a jump indeed. And now he'll bat 8th, stepping into the box. But before that, a quick mound meeting between Cohen and the head coach of the Glens Falls Dragons in Muller.
And in case you're wondering, this is going to be the 3rd time this year that Amory has hit in that 8th spot. The highest he hit in the lineup, 7th in his debut for the Stallions, June 10th against Mohawk Valley.
And it seems like the Stallions want to keep him in that bottom part of the batting order because there's one thing that Nico Amory does well. And what's that?
He gets on base.
He gets on base.
He would be a cleanup hitter in Moneyball.
Absolutely. Billy Bean would foam at the mouth for Nico Amory as he takes that one outside for ball number 1.
He gets on base. He guns people down trying to steal. What can you not love about Nico Amory?
Nico Amory, a great addition to the Stallion baseball organization. The 1-0 low and away this time. 2-0 count now. Taking a look at Nico Amory's stats so far. A little bit of a lower batting average. .219 on the year. He's currently looking to try to draw another walk here. That one goes well inside for a 3-0 count. So a great hitter's count here for Amory. Currently has 21 walks on the year.
The batting average is low, but he is on a 10-game on-base streak just because of how much he manages to get on first base via the walk.
An OBP of 500, and that'll be called strike 2 as it just catches that top corner. Amory putting down the bat and flipping over the leg brace.
Now he's got to put it all the way back on. It was a late strike call on the outside. Amory's still up in the count 3-1, but definitely kind of a confidence drop there as he tried to take that first base bag already.
Going with the 3-1 now, and that'll be called strike 2 on the outside. Similar location, same call from the umpire. And now Amory thought getting a free pass to that first base bag and put 2 runners on base, now in a full count. Cone kicks and fires. And that'll go in for strike 3. Amory goes down looking on 3 straight strikes after going up 3-0 in the count. Thought he had ball 4, but instead will take a seat in the dugout. And that'll bring up the first baseman in Mason Speaker.
Yeah, and Amory didn't swing the bat once during that at-bat. Was looking for that 4th ball, which he almost had, and pretty much everyone in the stadium thought he had at the start.
First pitch Speaker sees, that'll go into the dirt.
And Speaker getting the start at first base in this game, a position he's played 4 times this year, 3 of them in the Stallions' first 3 games.
And now taking a more laid-back role as a two-way player for Saugerties. Speaker will take that one low and away again for ball 2. And this is not the first time that Speaker has appeared at Eastfield. Just in their last game Wednesday, he came in for 2 innings as a pitcher. Only gave up 1 hit with a walk and a strikeout, no earned runs. Now currently sitting in the box with a 2-0 count and Heckert on first. He'll take that one down the pipe for strike number 1.
And aside from Speaker's debut on the mound against the Oneonta Outlaws, has not allowed a run when pitching this year, and he's had a few appearances going multiple innings.
Currently sitting with a 1.80 ERA. He'll take a chop at that one for strike 2. Count now even.
And Speaker was named Ulster Savings Player of the Game with his performance at the plate yesterday. Had a go-ahead single in the 7th inning. It was his only hit.
And that put the Stallions up for good in that game, 4-3, when they did win that 5-3 against the Outlaws and trying to increase the separation between the pack. Speaker taking that one low and a second straight full count here.
And Cohen in the mid-40s in terms of pitch count early on. He's thrown 22 strikes and 22 balls.
Going in a longer outing this time around compared to his last outing of 1 inning against the Stallions. 3-2, called strike 3. And Speaker thought he had a free pass as well.
A tossed that bat all the way back to the dugout, which ironically is where he's going to be walking right now. But the Stallions thought they had, both Speaker and Amory thought they had that outside pitch that was going to miss the strike zone, but that home plate umpire saying no both times.
And now TJ Adams stepping up with a runner on and 2 outs here. First pitch check swing going around for strike number 1. Taking a look at Cohen so far. 4 strikeouts on the day, which is double his total on Wednesday against these Stallions in his relief appearance. The 0-1 upstairs for ball. Count now even.
Adams has had a few days off these past couple days. His last appearance coming back on July 12th against the Dutchman. Went 0-2 with 3 walks and 2 strikeouts.
The 1-1-2 Adams will go upstairs again, this time called ball 2.
And like Amory, Adams' on-base percentage ranking towards the top of the Stallions' leaderboards, and he does have 5 walks in his last 3 games.
Adams will take that one outside for a 3-1 count, and taking a look, he hasn't been hitting the ball ever since he came back from that hip injury. 3 hits total compared to 5 walks in his last 3 games. Going now, kicking, firing, the 3-1, swung on and missed. For strike 2 goes Adams, and we have a 3rd straight full count here.
Yeah, and that was ball 4, had he not swung at it. It was a pitch in the dirt. But now we're probably going to see Heckert on the move, full count, 2-out scenario.
And Jelani Rogers, the top of the order, on deck here for Saugerties. The payoff pitch, inside and called strike 3. The 3rd straight time the Stallions thought they had another walk, but this time it goes strike number 3 for the 3rd time. And now Cohen striking out the side here after giving up a leadoff walk. 2-0, the Saugerties Stallions still lead over the Glens Falls Dragons here at Eastfield. And don't go anywhere. We got more Stallion baseball on the way from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. Welcome back to East Field here in Glens Falls, New York, as the Stallions still holding on to a 2-0 lead, with Glens Falls stepping up 5-6-7 up to bat now for Glens Falls, and that'll be Danny Mosher to lead things off.
And Noah DeLuca had to work around some late inning damage after back-to-back singles, but Brandon Fish kind of turning a double play by himself really helped him out.
Mosher taking that first pitch low and away for a ball, and a lefty-on-lefty matchup coming up. I believe this is the first one tonight. DeLuca firing, swung on and missed. Goes Mosher for strike number one. Count even.
Yeah, with DeLuca being a lefty and Cohen not being one, there was a good chance the first lefty-lefty matchup would come with the Stallions pitching.
Mosher sends that one into center field. Rogers getting underneath that one and making the grab for out number one.
Rogers didn't have to move at all for that one. Maybe taking a few steps in for it, but he was in the perfect spot.
And now that'll bring up a batter that the Stallions struggled to get out in their last game Wednesday in Phoenix Bowman. Bowman last time went 2 of 3 with a double and a single, but did manage to get struck out back in the 7th.
Yeah, we have twin brothers in the lineup today for Glens Falls with Phoenix and Quentin Bowman. Quentin hitting number 9 in the lineup.
Bowman took that first pitch low and away for ball number one. DeLuca firing. Inside, but no strike called here by the umpire. 2-0. That's a quick setup here for Phoenix Bowman in the box. DeLuca kicks and fires, catching that outside edge for strike one, and a very late call by the Blue.
Both brothers attending different schools. Phoenix attending Iona, Quentin attending St. Rose.
Here's a 2-1. That'll go outside for ball number 3. And this is not the first time that we've had twin brothers go against the Stallions. Back in Oneonta, we had Ryan and Tyler Martinez, both from San Francisco, come in. The 3-1. Called strike 2 on the inside edge. And the umpire has worked the count full now.
And yesterday we saw Ryan Martinez. Didn't see Tyler.
No, we did not. Usually we see Tyler against when we play Oneonta, but
Roles
this
reversed.
time we saw Ryan. The 3-2 goes outside for ball number 4. First walk that DeLuca has given up tonight. And now one out with a runner on. Similar situation from the bottom of the first, and that'll bring up Will Manette, the catcher.
And DeLuca's consistently gone deep into these counts, but has had trouble closing out these hitters. No strikeouts yet to his day. 2 singles and then that walk.
Manette from Staten Island, New York, attending St. Thomas Aquinas. He'll pop that pitch up foul over the netting behind home plate.
Stallions have a few St. Thomas Aquinas guys.
We do. One of them an all-star in James Riley.
Pitched a gem out of relief yesterday.
3 innings, only allowing 1 hit.
Got his first win.
His first win indeed. The 0-1, a comebacker over to DeLuca. It hits off his glove. He'll pick that up, flip it over to first, and get the out, but the runner advances to second in Bowman.
Would have been a double play if DeLuca had held on to it, but it just went off the tip of his glove. And either way, great hustle from Noah to be able to track that ball on the ground and be able to toss it over to Mason Speaker for that second out.
And the struggles at the plate continue for Manette against the Stallions, as now Sam Browning, the designated hitter, will step up with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. DeLuca looking back at Bowman, firing, and that one goes well outside for a ball. Taking a look at Browning, a 151 hitter on the year with only 8 hits and 53 attempts at the plate.
It's a 150 average.
Yes, it is. Swing and a miss goes Browning for strike number 1. So far on the year, only 2 RBIs for Browning. 21 strikeouts compared to 7 walks. He's looking to drive in the Dragons' first run on the night with Bowman on second. DeLuga now working from the stretch. Slow tempo here. He keeks and deals. In the dirt for a 2-1 count now. Taking a look at the last time that Browning went against the Stallions, you had to go all the way back to Wednesday where he went 0 of 3 with 2 strikeouts. All those coming in the 5th and 7th inning. The 2-1 goes well inside. Amory tracking that one. Bowman returning back to the bag. 3-1 count.
Once it left DeLuga's hand, you thought that was probably going to hit him for a good second or two, but it went just low, and Browning still gets a chance to hit.
Browning now in a good hitter's count here. 3-1. Hitting in that 8th slot for the 2nd straight game. DeLuga firing. Swung on and popped foul over the netting and into the first base grandstands. And now DeLuga has worked Browning full.
It's definitely not the first full count we've seen DeLuga throw.
Absolutely
not even close to it.
Not even. DeLuga really trying to work these Glens Falls Dragons batters here. His pitch count slowly creeping up into that 40 mark. Trying to look for the final punch out here in this bottom 2nd frame. DeLuga fires, swung on and fouled back once again. Browning staying alive in this at-bat.
And Browning is a perfect 1,000 hitter against Noah DeLuga so far this year, so not the first time these two have met, and Browning has had the upper end of things.
DeLuga trying to strike first here in their first meeting tonight. The 3-2 pitch. Swung on and a ground ball over to third. Fishman can grab that. Throw on over to Speaker at first, and that'll be out number 3. After a 1-out walk here in the bottom of the 2nd, the Stallions leaves him stranded on second. Don't go anywhere. The top of the 3rd is on the way after this. Saugerties Stallion Baseball brought to you by Ephros Orthodontics, smile provider for the Stallions. Emerson Spa, a hidden treasure in the Catskills. And by MedView Incorporated, independent medical review, world-class results, local connections. And something you fans probably notice at home, the lights go on right now at Eastfield, and when the lights go out, you can call our friends at Richards Electric, with lights turning on sponsor for your Saugerties Stallions. We now head into the top of the 3rd inning with the top of the lineup coming up with Jelani Rogers leading things off.
In the top of the lineup was a big reason why the Stallions jumped out to the lead they did. Both the 2 and 3 hitters in Evan Goforth and Brandon Fish were able to get on. They'll be on deck and in the hole respectfully.
Jelani Rogers managing to get out via a pop fly in the foul territory to where Manette caught that one. So far, 0 of 1 on the day. First pitch he'll see will go upstairs for strike number 1.
There is starting to be some movement on that Glens Falls bullpen. No one actively throwing just yet, though.
Seems like they're just getting some stretching in here. Cohen fires. Swung on and a base hit up the middle for Jelani Rogers. And he'll get on first. The 2nd straight leadoff hit for Saugerties.
Rogers had to lay out for that pitch on the outside, and he was able to just get a chop of that one over to the middle of the infield where no one was setting up for another leadoff base runner. The 2nd straight inning, the Stallions have had one of those.
3rd hit on the night for the Stallions, and we're just entering this top 3rd frame as Evan Goforth stepping up for the second time tonight. They'll take that one low and away for ball number 1.
Goforth got on with a walk for the game's first base runner / go around.
Cohen now working from the stretch, looking over at the speedy Rogers on the first base path. Goforth will take that one up, and away for a 2-0 count.
Goforth only walked 7 times during his last season in Indiana, but over these last 5 games, including today, he's matched that number.
2-0 from Cohen. That'll go inside, breaking in for a 2-1 count now. Goforth looking to reach base for the second time tonight. Last time on that walk, he managed to go all the way around to score as he pops that one up into shallow right center field. Carpata waving everyone off and making the grab for out number 1. One away here early in this top third frame. Now that'll bring up Brandon Fish, who got the game's first hit on that single to put Goforth at third and himself at first.
Yeah, and he ripped one out to right field his first time up and could have stretched it into a double, got thrown out trying to do that yesterday.
I think he learned the hard way not to do that this time around, as the pickoff attempt over to Mosher at first is unsuccessful. Rogers getting back in time.
And Fish now at a 5-game hitting streak over that span, 5 RBIs.
First pitch to Fish will be upstairs for ball number 1. And we'll take a look at the out-of-town scores real quick. Final in Game 1 in 7 innings. The Albany Dutchmen beating the Oneonta Outlaws 7-3 in Game 1 at Damaski Field. Fish will take that one upstairs for a 2-0 count, and that's a huge win for Albany if the Stallions want to separate themselves from the pack.
Yeah, and Albany has kind of seen themselves slide out of playoff contention. They're 5th in the East, just behind the Outlaws, so that win, huge for them.
2-0, singled right up the middle and under the glove of Cubello for a base hit. Rogers stretching it all the way to third, and he'll get in there safely. Fish following him behind and going into second.
Brandon Fish just going everywhere on this baseball field right now. Went to right this first time up, this time right up the middle. Same place Jelani Rogers went to lead off this third inning, and now 2 runners in scoring position for the Stallions, as is a quick mound visit between Manette and Cohen.
Yeah, so far this is the second time that Cohen has had someone reach out to him on the mound, and that will be ruled an official single for Brandon Fish while trying to stretch it to second.
But how about Fish? In all 5 of the games he's gotten hits in, he's gotten 2 hits in all of them.
Brandon Fish hitting pairs in games again, like Amory drawing walks in pairs. Now that'll bring up Garrison Berkeley with 2 runners in scoring position. He'll take a whack at that one for strike number 1.
And Berkeley was the first strikeout victim for Cohen his last time up. Struck out swinging with 2 runners on, and that's the same situation he finds himself in with 2 runners on.
2 runners on. This time Fish at second, Rogers at third here with 1 out. Stallions still holding a 2-0 lead. Cohen now settling in. Kicks and fires. The 0-1 fouled off down the first base line. And something to notice, the infield is pushing way in on that infield grass.
Yeah, trying to keep it at a 2-0 deficit, Glens Falls is on the Stallions. Trying to make it a manageable comeback.
Berkeley currently sitting in an 0-2 hole, looking to try to avoid being struck out for the second time tonight. Cohen delivers. Upstairs and away for a ball.
And those were the same pitches that were called strikes on Nico Amory and Mason Speaker last inning, so Berkeley getting a little bit of a break.
Umpire setting up relatively inside. The 1-2 fouled on and caught by Manette for strike 3, and Berkeley is down on strikes once again.
This is a big out for Daniel Cohen. Now just 1 out away from getting out of this inning. Striking out a dangerous hitter in Berkeley, but Shackleford did hit a single his last go-around.
Yeah, and that single managed to drive in a run here, which happened to be Goforth from third. So with a 1-for-1 with an RBI on the day, Shackleford will take that one outside and low for a ball. Shackleford now stepping up. Rogers slowly leading off that third base bag. He'll take that one low and away again. 2-0 count now. Shackleford holding off Rogers at third.
This is Shackleford's 5th game against the Dragons this year. That was his 2nd RBI against them.
Looking for RBI number 3, potentially 4 here, with a shot into the outfield gaps.
Maybe 5.
The 2-0 low and away again from Cohen, and a 3-0 count here for Shackleford. And it seems like Cohen's really trying to attack Shackleford low and away. 3 straight pitches, all of them into the dirt. We'll do it again here. 3-0, taken down the middle for strike number 1.
And Cohen's been the most effective in this game when in that 3-ball count. He's always found a way to battle back, especially against the bottom of the Stallions lineup in the last inning.
So far, 0 of 3 on the night with 3 strikeouts between 8, 9, and 10. Shackleford will take that one outside for ball 4, and the bases are now loaded. Coming up will be J.P. Ty, the extra hitter.
John, I know your feelings about walking to load the bases. This one
okay.
not intentional.
Okay, buckaroo.
But J.P. Ty with a big chance to get his first Stallion RBIs of the season.
Bases now loaded here. J.P. Ty coming up to bat so far 0 of 1 with a swinging strikeout as he fouls that one off back in the net. But that strikeout went into the backstop, which made Ty head to that first base bag with ease.
Also advanced 2 other runners to keep the inning going.
Ty now setting up in a similar pulling stance. He'll foul that one off back into the netting for an 0-2 count here with 2 outs. And Ty, after getting on base, a huge lead off that first base bag, caused Manette to catch him at first lacking. Mosher applying the tag to get the final out back in that first inning. The 0-2 from Cohen, swung on and fouled back again. 3 straight foul tips here for the Georgia Southern utility player.
Yeah, Ty just missing on both of those, or all 3 of those swings rather, just getting under them.
Ty still looking for his first hit of the season here in Saugerties, his 2nd go-around with the Stallions in 2 years. Check swing, and it'll go around for strike 3, and that's a very questionable call that Ty is trying to argue, but regardless, the inning will end there. The Stallions leave them loaded, but still hold on to a 2-0 lead into the bottom of the 3rd. Don't go anywhere. More action to come from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. Welcome back to East Field here in Glens Falls, New York, as the Stallions still holding on to a 2-0 lead, and Noah DeLuga out for his 3rd inning of work. So far, no runs given up on 2 hits for the Minnesota lefty. And thus far, only one walk to his name, no strikeouts.
Yeah, DeLuga, we talked about him being a pitch-to-contact hitter. He's shown that so far, forcing pretty soft contact, most of them being ground balls.
First pitch will be called a strike to Quentin Bowman, the twin brother of Phoenix Bowman.
Going deeper into the the ground-out flyout ratio.
As Bowman will take that one inside and low, pinning that corner for strike number 2.
4 groundouts compared to 1 flyout was the stat I wanted to say before I was so rudely cut off by that pitch.
Well, that's the game of baseball, Logan. DeLuga now in an 0-2 count, firing. Swung on and fouled down the right field line. We'll do it all over again here. And this is something that DeLuga has been struggling with against Glens Falls tonight. Not able to deliver that final blow and long at-bats to these Dragon hitters. 0-2 outside for ball number 1.
You almost had one there. Almost had Quentin chasing on that outside pitch. He was able to just pull back his swing.
A little hesitation right there, but to no avail. And now he's sitting with a 1-2 count. DeLuga deals. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Amory firing it over to first and managing to get the out. One away here for the Stallions.
There's that finishing blow from Noah DeLuga. Strikeout number 1 of the day.
And there it is. The Big Ten All-Academic American or Distinguished Scholar, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Distinguished Scholar.
Distinguished Scholar. There you are, Noah DeLuga.
3.7 GPA.
That's not bad at all.
No.
And now that will come up Joe Colucci, the extra hitter. He'll take that one upstairs for a ball. And usually we see Colucci at that shortstop position, but with how Bowman has been doing as of late, he's now taking an extra hitter role. The 1-0 to Colucci will just miss on the outside edge.
I don't know where that one missed. It looked like it was going to catch that inner part of the zone, but home plate umpire not seeing it the same way.
Now a 2-0 count here to the 10-hole hitter. DeLuga kicks and fires. Swung on and missed for strike 1. And Colucci, a .264 hitter, no home runs on the year, and so far has not recorded a hit against DeLuga.
9 hits, 5 RBIs, not a bad ratio.
Colucci will take that one outside for a 3-1 count. And it seems like the umpire's not favoring the outside edge to the pitchers. A little bit more on the inside, something that we saw back at Albany. It could be the way he's positioned. 3-1, fouled back into the backstop, and now the count is worked full.
There is action now ramping up in that Glens Falls bullpen. Someone actively throwing for them. Stallion bullpen still quiet.
Not a lot of movement going on in the Stallion bullpen. DeLuga now with the payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled back once again. So we'll continue on here.
DeLuga's pitch count kind of in the mid-50s up to this point.
It seems like we have some movement up here. Looks like TJ Lopez is cleaning off the mound and getting a little bit of stretching in.
We'll see if he's actually going to throw or if he just likes the mound clean.
And Will Kendall warming up in the bullpen for Glens Falls. We'll do it again. The 3-2. Called strike 3. And down goes Colucci. 2 straight strikeouts here for DeLuga.
Beautiful pitch from Noah, pounding that inside part of the zone. And as Colucci was about to take first base, he was about a quarter of a way there. The umpire rung him up.
Something that the umpire's not liking. Early calls from the batters trying to take that free pass to first base. And now back to the top of the order with Philip Carpata swinging and missing for strike number 1.
And TJ Lopez, not someone who just likes the mound clean. He's actually going to be throwing off of it right now.
Absolutely, and it seems like we have someone else standing up in the Stallion bullpen trying to protect Lopez as Carpata takes that one low for an even count.
That was Noah DeLuga's job the last time we were here, just kind of standing off to the side, protecting any foul balls. There's no fences or anything blocking that bullpen.
No, it looks like that'll be Alex County with that duty. Carpata fouls that one off towards the third base line near the Stallion dugout, and a 1-2 count here. Anything to try to protect your teammates.
Yep.
And taking a look at Glens Falls, not a lot of protection there as the action just finishing up for Kendall.
Stallions thinking one step ahead.
Here's the 1-2 from DeLuca. Swung on and a chopper over to shortstop. Goforth getting that on the run. Fires over to first. Bud Carpata using his speed to be called safe on the infield single.
Yeah, he had a similar ball to Evan Goforth back in the first, but Goforth was able to throw him out. It was a slightly harder hit ball this time. There was no chance that Goforth had to gun down Carpata. Maybe if DeLuca had caught that one on the mound, it was a little over his head, but it probably would have been a closer play.
So far, Carpata, 2 hits to the shortstop, 1 and 2 on the night now with an infield single, and that'll bring up Mario Cubello, who is 1 for 1 on the night with a single. DeLuca sends that one outside for ball number 1. And it looks like JP Ty is doing the bullpen catching today.
Well, he's already serving as the extra hitter.
And it looks like he already went through the order, so serving him justice as Lopez continues to warm up. The 1-0 from DeLuca. Outside, called strike.
And the Stallions do have 4 guys that have played catchers, so Jake Skrine really getting that full off day, which he does deserve. He's had a lot of consecutive straight days starting for the Stallions.
Absolutely. Now count even here for DeLuca as he fires, catching that inside edge for strike number 2. And we have to mention Skrine. Usually he was coming in, he was going to be a first base guy, a extra designated hitter, possibly a third base guy, but we've seen him a lot in that catcher role recently. DeLuca with the 1-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3, and that'll end the inning. DeLuca strikes out 3 of 4 batters, and we head to the top of the 4th inning with the Stallions clinging on to a 2-0 lead. Don't go anywhere. More action to come after this. Welcome back to Eastfield here. 2-0 the Stallions lead over the Dragons heading into the top of the 4th. And Brett Heckert leading off for the 2nd straight time. So far, managed to get on via a leadoff walk back in the 2nd, but he would remain at that first base bag as the Stallions went down after that on 3 looking strikeouts. Heckert will take that one upstairs and in for ball number 1.
Yeah, Stallions didn't put the ball in play that entire 2nd inning, and it was a full count for, I believe, most of those at-bats.
Heckert will take this one low and outside for a 2-0 count, and Daniel Cohen entering his 4th inning of work after a little bit of some warm-ups between Kendall in the bullpen, but he hasn't returned since 2 outs into the pen, and now Heckert taking that one for strike 1 and a 2-1 count. Cohen fires. Heckert fouls that one off. Count now even.
And Heckert, a 273 hitter so far this year, has really seen his average jump over these past couple of weeks and on a 3-game hitting streak as well, which has helped out that average.
And it all stemmed from one night in Watertown. Cohen out from the windup. Firing the 2-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Down goes Heckert for the first time tonight. And now one away here for the Dragons.
Yeah, it's now 7 strikeouts for Daniel Cohen so far, and we're not even halfway through this 4th inning.
So far, the bottom 4 batters in the lineup, 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. And now Nico Amory, one of those strikeout victims stepping on up. The first pitch swinging goes Amory for strike number 1. And last time he was up, he had a 3-0 count and 1 pitch inside and a broad back to the plate from the umpire called strike. And he manages to go down on 3 straight strikes from there. The 0-1 low and away. Count now even at 1-1.
Yeah, Amory had his knee pad, I guess that was. He had already taken that off.
Yes, the ankle pad. He took it off and then proceeded to go, but got called back as Amory fouls that one off, this time now in a 1-2 count. A little more of an aggressive approach here for Amory this time around, as he managed to see what the rest of the lineup ahead of him managed to do. Amory now settling in. Cohen from the windup fires. Swung on and fouled. A screamer down the right field line and into the stands.
Yeah, unfortunately, despite how hard it was hit, it didn't directly hit any fans. It came very close to a good bunch of them.
Yeah, we are glad that all of those fans are okay. None of them got hit.
Seen a few scares here at Glens Falls. A few liners right back in the unprotected dugouts. A ball that hit one of the stadium lights.
It did, as Amory takes that one for an even count of 2-2, and it hit the light right above there, just not too far from us, over towards that third base line, right next to the Stallion dugout. And there were some fans sitting there when the shards fell down, and hopefully those fans are okay as Amory calls time. But a little bit of a scary moment as you heard some woes ring out, some of them from the Stallion dugout. Amory calling time once again, trying to mess up the mentality that Cohen has. Still not moving from his windup position. Here's a 2-2. Swung on and fouled back into the netting. So Amory a little bit more aggressive, but staying alive.
Yeah, it's been 6 pitches thrown to Nico Amory. He's fouled quite a few of them off so far and trying to work up that pitch count from Cohen, which is in the 80s.
Something to keep an eye on, as it's seeming like Glens Falls is taking a look into the bullpen. Not too much movement going on. 2-2 swung on and missed for strike 3. Amory down on strikes once again. 0 for 2 on the night.
It's now the second time today Daniel Cohen has 3 straight strikeouts. This one coming from the end of the 3rd and now start of the 4th inning.
That'll bring up Mason Speaker, another one of those strikeout victims in the bottom of the order. Had a full count, thought he got the walk, but got rung up by the boy in blue. And now first pitch he sees will be low and away for a ball. 2 outs here, no runners on for the Stallions for the first time tonight. Speaker, a 142 hitter with 5 RBIs on the year. Also one of the more patient batters in the Stallions lineup. They'll take that one upstairs for a 2-0 count.
Yeah, 5 hits, 5 RBIs. It's a very consistent rate.
Driving in one of those RBIs last night against the Oneonta Outlaws. As there will be time called.
And that action now ramping back up in the Glens Falls bullpen. Took a short break for most of this inning.
Here's the 2-0. Check swing. Umpire rings him up on that one for strike number 1. And Kendall back out on the mound doing some work here. Speaker stepping back into the pucks. TJ Adams on deck here for Saugerties. Here's a 2-1. Inside, called strike by the home plate umpire. And we have 2s across the board. So far for Saugerties, 2 runs on 4 hits. Both runs coming in that top of the first due to an RBI single by David Shackleford and a wild pitch. And that ball will be ripped into shallow right field for a base hit. Grappata trying to play on the hop, and Speaker gets on board with 2 outs.
How about hits in back-to-back days now for Mason Speaker? Really starting to ramp up his batting average, and the first time he's done that in back-to-back games this year.
And now that'll bring up the 10-hole hitter in T.J. Adams. Now stepping up with a runner on first and Speaker and 2 outs. From the stretch, Cohen fires. That'll go inside for strike 1. Stepping back in. Cohen now firing. The 0-1 gets fouled back into the netting for a quick 0-2 count.
This is just Adams' 4th time facing Glens Falls. He's 3 hits in those games.
Looking to try to find hit number 4 against the Dragons here. The 0-2 from Cohen upstairs for ball number 1. Speaker not taking a too hefty lead off that first base bag. The pitch fired into the dirt and away for a 2-2 count.
The Stallions have been very careful with Adams since he came back from that injury. He's had a lot more rest days.
Adams now setting up. Here's a 2-2 swung on and missed for strike 3, and that will end the inning. Heading into the bottom of the 4th, the Stallions still with a 2-0 lead over the Glens Falls Dragons. Don't go anywhere. More action to come from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. The Saugerties Stallions are bringing the sauce out of the Dallas Hot Wieners bullpen, and after 3 innings of work, Noah DeLuca's day will be done. Enter T.J. Lopez from Weber International, the right-hander. So far, 0-2 on the year with a 9 ERA, and in 14 innings, 15 strikeouts, 6 walks, 26 hits.
Yeah, and this is the question we really had with DeLuca and the Stallions pitching staff today, just how long he would go, and the answer was not too long, just 3 innings, and TJ Lopez going to be coming in, looking to eat some innings for the Stallions in this one.
And for DeLuca in his final stat line today in those 3 innings of work, allowing 3 hits with no earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. So managing to get the job done on the mound tonight for the starting pitcher out of Minnesota, but not too long as the Stallions already make the call to the bullpen, as now Lopez will face off against 3-4-5 in the lineup, Corey Listing to lead things off.
This is going to be the 8th appearance this year for TJ Lopez, first against the Dragons. Last time Lopez pitched was 6 days ago against Oneonta, went 3 2/3 innings, only allowed 4 hits and struck out 3. He has an 0-2 record this year, both losses against Mohawk Valley.
And now he'll step up against Corey Listing as Dixieland Delight ringing out. Not exactly in Tuscaloosa, Alabama right now. We are in Glens Falls, New York, but With the college football season slowly approaching, songs slowly getting a little bit more and more appropriate for the changing time. Now stepping on in. This would be the first time that Lopez would suit up and play against the Glens Falls Dragons. First pitch, pop-up, foul territory for Listing, but that'll go out of play.
And Listing had one of two back-to-back singles for the Dragons that came back in that first inning, right before Reese DeCastro grounded into the double play.
So far, 1 of 1 on the night, managing to get on base last time via double and took his sweet little time around the bases before reaching that second base bag. The 0-1 low into the dirt, count now even.
Lopez has a 9 ERA with 15 strikeouts through 14 innings.
In his last appearance, July 9th against the Outlaws, went 3 2/3 innings with 4 hits and 3 strikeouts. Lopez will send that one inside for ball number 2. Listing a .233 hitter with 7 RBIs, 15 hits, and 67 at-bats. Listing will send that one into left field for a base hit. Shackleford playing it on 1 bounce. So Listing 2 of 2 on the night with 2 singles.
It's definitely one of the harder hit balls we've seen from either side so far, and Listing providing the Dragons with the leadoff base runner the first time they've had one of those today.
And now Reese DeCastro stepping on up. And last time he stepped up to the plate, he grounded out into a double play that got the force out at third with Cubello. Brandon Fish stepping on the bag and firing on over to first for the final out of the inning. And now Lopez dealing with a no-out runner-on situation after that leadoff single by Listing. Lopez fires and a check swing called strike on DeCastro. Listing with a healthy lead off that first base bag. Lopez not worried about it, fires inside, but missing for an even count.
We'll see just how much length Lopez can get in this relief outing. The most he's gone in a game was that Oneonta game, 3 2/3.
Lopez now looking down, firing the 1-1, and that'll go down low. The runner goes in. Listing, throw on over to second, will be in time for the first out. And the Dragons have not learned their lesson.
Death, taxes, and Nico Amory gunning down opposing base runners. That ball didn't get too far away from Nico. It was right in front of him. And the second he found it, sent a dot onto that second base bag.
And it seemed like there was a little hesitation in Corey Listing, but he decided to book it anyway, but gets called out. And now 1 away here for the Stallions with a 1-1 pitch being fouled off and now making the count 1-2.
And now suddenly you go from having the tying run up to bat to still being down by 2 and just having no one on base. It's a completely different scenario, even early into the game.
DeCastro in a 1-2 hole looking to avoid being sat down for the second straight at bat. 2-2, ground ball over to shortstop. Goforth corralling that one, and he'll miss it as it goes under his glove. And then looks like we'll take a look at the official ruling here. And it looks like it will be ruled a hit on the scoreboard. We'll take a look at point streak to see if it will remain the same, and it will be ruled an infield single.
Yeah, that was a hard play for Goforth to make. It would have been a really tough error for him to take. And we've seen a few times where there have been softly hit balls to Evan Goforth's side, and he's had a hustle to make a play, this time just missing it. But that ball was very softly hit. It probably wouldn't have been it probably would have gotten for a hit regardless.
First pitch swinging goes Danny Mosher, but he fouls on one off right next to us in the press box. So far,
we are protected today.
We are very much protected. Concrete walls and a few windows around us, so you don't have to take something short of a miracle to get a ball into this press box. As Mosher takes a hack at that one for strike 2. A quick 0-2 hole here. And Mosher led off the second inning with a flyout to Jelani Rogers in center field. Lopez with the 0-2, swung on and driven into left field. Shackleford underneath that one. He'll make the grab, and DeCastro retreating back to first base.
So lucky break for Saugerties. It was hit right at David Shackleford. A very well hit ball by Mosher, but still going to result in an out.
And now that'll bring up Phoenix Bowman. So far, reached base in in 3 of his last 4 at-bats against the Stallions. 2 of them via hits. Last time up, he managed to get on via the walk. He'll take that breaking pitch inside for strike number 1. Bowman getting out of the way of that one. A little bit of a quicker setup this time for the shortstop. He'll pop that one up straight into the infield. Fish looking like he has that one tracked, and he'll make the grab for out number 3. 2 hits for the Glens Falls, but still only a runner on that first base bag as the defense does its job and makes this a 2-0 game heading into the top of the 5th. Don't go anywhere. More action to come from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. Saugerties Stallion Baseball brought to you by J. Mullen and Sons Construction, Hudson Valley's trusted contractor for over 25 years. IXL Health and Fitness Club, keeping the Stallions fit and myself all season long. And by the Jolly Cow in Lake Katrine, because everybody loves ice cream. We now have a pitching change here for Glens Falls as Dan Cohen's night will be done after 4 innings, and a familiar face coming up for the Stallions in Will Kendall from St. Thomas Aquinas. So far, 0-6 on the year with an 11.7 ERA and in 20 innings, 21 strikeouts, 18 walks, 32 hits.
And that'll bring an end to Cohen's day. And aside from those blemishes to lead off the game in the first, he was lights out, especially against the bottom of that Stallion lineup. Finished with a total of 9 strikeouts through 4 innings.
10 strikeouts according to Point Streak.
Excuse me.
As Kendall sends that one inside on Rogers for ball 1. And taking a look at the final line for Cohen in 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, with 3 walks and 10 Ks to his name. So Cohen doing a great job trying to keep the Stallions off the scoreboard, but Saugerties still has a 2-0 lead here, entering the top of the 5th. Second pitch inside for Rogers, called strike. Count now even.
And Jelani got his first hit in the day on a single right up the middle of the infield, led off that 3rd inning.
Infield leaving a wide open gap down the middle. Similar positioning. Kendall with the 1-1. Swung on and a grounder right over to the third base line, but hooks foul towards the Stallion bullpen. So far, both teams racking up 5 hits on the night after 4 innings. 2 runs, though, for the Stallions compared to the Glens Falls 0 runs. Kendall kicks and fires, and that will be fouled back down the first baseline this time. And something to note here for the team stats, the ERA. The Stallions managing to dip under to the under sub 5 category for basically the first time this season compared to Glens Falls' 10.06 ERA. As Rogers pops that one up foul behind the grandstands at home plate.
And that team ERA very much skewed by the first 4 or so games the Stallions had to play against Albany and Amsterdam, where they were consistently giving up 10-plus runs when they just didn't have the arms yet to toss out there for multiple innings.
It was a little bit of a skid early on, but after getting some pieces put together, the Stallions have found themselves rolling. As Rogers sends that one over to shortstop, Bowman trying to make the throw over to first. That'll get past the glove of Mosher. Rogers getting safe at first, and he'll head on to second. And we will get the official ruling right here, whether that will be an E6 or an E3.
I think it'll be a hit.
It could be an infield hit, but
it was ruled a hit.
It was ruled a hit on the scoreboard, as now the Stallions have racked up their 6th hit, and there will be an error attached to the Dragons.
If I had to guess, probably a single and then an E6 on the throw, as there's no question Rogers is going to beat out that throw no matter what. It's just a matter of he was able to advance on the bad throw from the shortstop in Bowman.
And now Evan Goforth will step up. He'll take that one up and away for strike number 1. And it's seeming like on the scoreboard it will be ruled an error, but not on the not in Point Streak, it seems like, on the live feed.
Give it time.
I'm sure it'll be fixed here. The 0-1 to go for it. The ground ball over to shortstop. Bowman picking that one up, fires over to first, and an overthrow will be called out as Mosher got back down to the bag for out number 1, but now a runner 90 feet away in Rogers.
It was almost absolute disaster for Phoenix Bowman. Almost had back-to-back errors on consecutive plays, but kind of bailed out by Mosher, who made a very timely jump.
Now that'll bring up Brandon Fish. So far has himself a 2-hit night and 2 at-bats, both of them being singles. Came all the way around to score back in the top of the first on a wild pitch. Rogers on third. First pitch from Kendall gets fouled back into the stands.
And Fish's average slowly starting to climb back up. It came into today at 358, and then got 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats today.
For Kendall, this is his 3rd appearance against the Stallions, both of them losses. Here's the 0-1 to Fish. That'll go inside and high for an even count.
Infield playing well in on Brandon, trying to protect against the run.
Berkeley on deck here for the Stallions. And it seems like Manette wanted a mound visit, but will be called back into home plate area. So 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Stallions holding on to a 2-0 lead. The 1-1 to Fish will be popped up towards that left field foul territory. Bowman making the catch. The relay throw over to home will not be in time, as it will be a sack F7 for Brandon Fish. 3-0 Stallions.
And that ball was hit just deep enough for Jelani Rogers, who already possesses great speed at the top of the lineup, to try and make a run for home, able to make it in pretty easily there, and the Stallions get their first run since back in the first.
And now that'll bring up Garrison Berkeley, who found himself 0 of 2 on the night with 2 swinging strikeouts. Berkeley now digging in with no one on and 2 outs here. Stallions taking a 3-0 lead over the Glens Falls Dragons here on the top of the 5th. Kendall kicks and fires, swing and a miss for strike number 1. And for Kendall, in his 2 appearances against Saugerties, pitched a total of 4 innings, allowing about 5 runs, all of them earned. No, 8 runs, 5 of them earned. Kendall now firing inside, and that'll hit Berkeley, and a 2-out runner reaches first.
It's a nice break for Garrison Berkeley, who in both of his prior at-bats had gone down pretty quickly via the strikeout, but now able to get on base for the first time today.
And for Berkeley, in his counting tonight, in his last, I believe this would be his 8 bats now, only managing to reach base 3 times, one of them via the hit. Now that'll bring up David Shackleford. First pitch he sees will be low and away for strike number 1. And Kendall, he continues to struggle on here against the Stallions now. Giving up his 9th run on the year to Saugerties. Kicks and fires, that'll go low for ball 1. Now Shackleford looking to try to create some 2-out magic here, like the Stallions normally do, with Ty on deck. Runner on first in Berkeley. After getting that hit by pitch, that pitch will go low. 2-1 count. And day slowly turning into night here as the stadium lights slowly becoming the main proprietor of lighting onto the ballpark. Kendall now checking over at first. The runner goes in Berkeley. Shackleford will take that for a ball, and the throw to second will not be in time as we have a Benson steal from Garrison Berkeley.
The first Benson steal for the Stallions in this one today, and Berkeley choosing the perfect pitch to run on. Low in the dirt, Manette had no chance.
And now David Shackleford working with a 3-1 count against Kendall. He fires, that'll go outside, and a called strike by the umpire. Another late call by the boy in blue.
And Shackleford had his bat pretty much on home plate trying to take off his gloves, and right while he was trying to take off the gloves, then came the strike call.
It seems like this umpire is not a fan of early advances towards first on walks. The 3-2. Inside and called ball 4, and we have 2 runners on.
And now Shackleford has reached base for the 3rd time in as many appearances today. Two walks and a single.
Now J.P. Ty stepping up for the 3rd time tonight. So far, 2 strikeouts, but got caught stealing back in the top of the first as he managed to reach on a swinging drop strike 3. First pitch he sees, he rips one down the left field line. Back at the wall goes Bowman, and it'll hit off the wall. Berkeley trotting on him. Shackleford right on his tail. He'll go in with a 2 RBI double. Welcome to Saugerties, J.P. Ty. 5-0 Saugerties.
And that's the first extra base hit for either side today. J.P. Ty roped one into one of these smaller parts in this east field yard out in left field, and Stallions now up by 5.
And now Will Kendall, not even through an inning yet, has given up 3 runs to Saugerties, and now Brett Heckert stepping up for the 3rd time tonight. This time not in a leadoff role. He'll take that pitch low for a strike.
And that ball not even hit too hard by Ty. It just kept carrying out there. It went off the wall. There was a chance. It was a very short home run, but just short.
Just a little bit short here at Eastfield. The 0-1 catching that outside edge for strike 2. And now Heckert's in a quick 0-2 hole here. So far, 0-1 on the night by going down on strikes back in the 4th inning and getting a leadoff walk in the 2nd. And it seemed like from the Stallion dugout, they thought that ball was gone down the left field line.
It's hard to tell at some of these road parks.
The 0-2 lined out into right field, and Carpata making the sliding grab for out number 3. But not before 3 Stallion runners plate to make this a 5-0 ball game heading into the bottom of the 5th. Don't go anywhere. More action to come from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. Saugerties Stallion Baseball, brought to you by Main Street Restaurant, voted best Mexican restaurant in the Hudson Valley. Senator Michelle Hinchy, she represents you. And by Mike Yonta, custom masonry and...
No.
You don't want to do it?
Excavation. I think I got it.
There it is! You got it! Finally! Only took you 3/4 of the season, but you finally got the word excavation. And now the Stallions have a 5-0 lead heading into the bottom of the 5th. Will Manette leading things off as the 7-hole hitter.
Thought I was on color. I thought I was going to have a nice day of trying not to say excavation, but now I've said it twice.
Yeah. Not in my town. Oh, the first pitch from Lopez to Manette will go upstairs. So now 1-0 count here to lead things off. Lopez fires. Up and in, some chin music to Manette, 2-0.
And Lopez had a up and down 4th inning in his first inning of work, allowed 2 hits, but Nico Amory was able to catch a runner stealing, and Lopez stranded the other runner on.
So Lopez managing to get 2 singles, but with the help of the defense, especially in Nico Amory catching Cordy Listing trying to steal second, managed to get out of that 4th inning as Manette fouls that one off. Count now sitting at 2-1. And for Manette, he has a rough time so far on the Stallions, and his first appearance went 0-for-3 with 3 strikeouts back at Cantine Field. Was deemed the K-man there, and the fans were happy about his performance as he swings and misses on the upstairs fastball for a 2-2 count.
Probably the most successful we've been with a K-man at Cantine Field. Got him 3 times.
That was very early in the season. I hope we have that same success when we go back tomorrow against this same team. Here's the 2-2 from Lopez. Swung on in a liner into right field, and that'll go down for a base hit. A leadoff single from Manette gets the rally rolling early for Glens Falls.
I think Manette heard us and was very motivated to not get a strikeout.
Absolutely. Absolutely. With how loud of a mouth I have and the loud voice I project out onto the field, he probably would have heard that. But regardless now, Sam Browning stepping up as the designated hitter. So far, Browning on the night 0-for-1 with a ground out to Brandon Fish, which ended that 2nd inning. First pitch swinging goes the designated hitter, but misses all of it for strike 1.
That's the 6th hit for Glens Falls today. All of them have been singles, but just haven't gotten anyone past that second base bag.
There was an attempt, but Nico Amory shut the door on that. Lopez with the 0-1. Inside for strike number 2, and an 0-2 hole early here for the number 8 hitter. Browning stepping in, and last time that we saw 8 through 10 step up to the plate, they went quiet at the bats as Browning goes down on strikes in 3 pitches, 1 away.
It's the first strikeout for TJ Lopez in this outing.
And that's a huge strikeout there as Quentin Bowman comes up. But going back to my point about the last time 8 through 10 came up to bat against the Stallions here at Glens Falls. 0-for-9 with 6 strikeouts. Bowen looking to not try to repeat history there as that goes in for strike 1 on the check swing.
And so far, each of the bottom 3 hitters has struck out once on this day.
So far, 0-4 on the night with 3 strikeouts. Lopez with the pitch. Low and away. Amory blocking that one in front. Well done by the Marist catcher. He's been really good at that defensive catcher play. And throughout the season, he started off a little bit rusty, but down the line, he's gotten better at figuring out what the pitchers have done. The 1-1 from Lopez, low into the dirt again, 2-1 count now.
Yeah, and out of the 4 catchers that the Stallions have trotted out that are currently on the roster, Nico Amory's definitely got great potential defensively. We've seen a good amount of that defensive prowess so far this season.
2-1 upstairs and inside for a 3-1 count now. I want to give you some quick updates here on the out-of-town scores. Very important in the East Division. The Amsterdam Mohawks currently lead the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 6-3 after a Gage Miller grand slam. 3-1 called strike two as Quentin Bowman thought he had a free pass to first.
That is not the first time we've seen that today. That's all I'm going to say.
I think if I had a nickel for every time that happened, I'd probably have a full $1 by now.
Would that be enough to get you a popcorn? We'll find out.
Probably not, as that pitch goes upstairs for ball four. Now 2 runners on here with 1 out. That'll bring up the bottom of the lineup in Joe Colucci, who struck out looking back in the 3rd inning. Continue on with some out-of-town scores to take note of. In the bottom of the 4th, the Oneonta Outlaws leading the Albany Dutchmen 3-2 in Game 2 of a doubleheader. So if Amsterdam manages to beat Mohawk Valley for a 2nd straight night and Oneonta sweeps Albany tonight, that would prove huge in the East standings for the Stallions, pending this win here tonight as Colucci swings on strike 1. Manette on at 2nd. Quentin Bowman on at 1st. 1 out here and an 0-1 count to Colucci. Lopez looks back. And time called here by the right-handed extra hitter. And it looked like Lopez was about to kick and fire away.
Yeah, he was about 75% through his windup, excuse me.
Yeah, out of the stretch, he looked like he was ready to go. But now we'll do it all over again here. The 0-1 swung on and missed low in the strike zone for an 0-2 count now.
Yeah, Noah DeLuga had 3 strikeouts on the day. 2 of them came in this bottom of the lineup, and Colucci, just the middle of 3 strikeouts he got in that 3rd inning.
All of those strikeouts happening in the 3rd inning. The only thing that broke up was a single by Carpata with 2 outs as Colucci takes that one outside for a 1-2 count. We do have to remind you, all these strikeouts are sponsored by Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit. Lopez now looking at 2nd. Steps up and fires. Swung on and a pop fly into the shallow outfield. Brett Heckert making the catch. And 2 away here for Saugerties.
What a grab out at 2nd base by Brett Heckert. Kind of lost where the ball exactly was for a little bit. Was able to track it just in time to make that jumping grab and keep that ball from going into center field.
Brett Heckert making another web gem out here. And the Stallions defense, as now we head back to the top of the order. Philip Carpata, the right fielder, stepping up for the 3rd time tonight. Now 2 outs here and 2 runners on. Lopez looking back at Manette at 2nd, and he will fire. That'll go inside and upstairs for a ball. And, partner, that looked a little bit close to call.
I think it was just a little too inside, and the umpire made the right call. It's definitely a closer one, though.
It did look a little close up here from our vantage point. Lopez slowing down the tempo, fires the 1-0 outside and upstairs for a 2-0 count now.
And both time Kiripata came to the plate, he hit softly hit balls out towards the shortstop in Evan Goforth. Was able to reach on a single in the 3rd, but was grounded out in the 1st.
Lopez looking back, firing. Swung on and missed for strike 1 goes to Carpata and looked like he was swinging for the fences. Lopez now getting his sign from Amory. Bowman at 1st, Manette at 2nd. Lopez kicks and fires, and Carpata fouls that one off back over the netting behind home plate. Count now sitting even at 2. Carpata looking for hit number 2 on the night. The 2-2 from Lopez, breaking ball up and in, looking like some chin music right there, and he's worked the count full.
Yeah, he kind of had to duck his head out of the way of that one, kind of his back turned to the ball. But the count now full. TJ Lopez just one strike away still from getting through his second inning of work.
First time Glens Falls has a runner on seconds. The runners go. Krapata sends that one up into left field, skying that one. Shackleford underneath that one to make the grab and the final out of the inning. Lopez gets out of the jam as we head to the top of the sixth with the Stallions up 5-0 on the Glens Falls Dragons. Don't go anywhere. More action will come from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth after this. Saugerties Stallion Baseball brought to you by Mirabella's Restaurant. Perfect for friends and family tonight and every night. Montano's Shoe Store. The best athletes wear the best from Montano's. And by Peak Trading. Need it lifted up or tied down? Peak Trading has the supplies. And the Stallions are lifting each other up here as they currently have a 5-0 lead heading into the top of the sixth.
And 3 of those runs came in that last inning in the fifth, really jumping on Will Kendall, the reliever for Glens Falls early and often, and he's back out there yet again.
Usually seen him in a starting role for the first 3 games against the Stallions, and now coming in for his 4th appearance against Saugerties, with Nico Amory stepping up for the 3rd time tonight. First pitch he'll see will go upstairs for a ball. Amory so far 0-2 in the night. 2 strikeouts, both one looking, one swinging. Currently has a 1-0 count here, leading off in the top of the sixth. Kendall kicks and fires. That will go outside, and chopping at that one will be Amory for strike number 1. Count even.
And this bottom 3 in the Stallion lineup providing little resistance. Just 1 of 6, that one hit being from Mason Speaker, who stands on deck.
With 5 strikeouts to go along with that. Kendall with the 1-1, swung on and driven into left field. Bowman backpedaling for that one. That'll go into the wall, and that'll bounce off the wall. Amory looking for 2. The possibility to go 3 will hold up at second, and a lead-off double for Amory.
John, I thought that one was going to leave the yard. Amory gave that one a ride out towards left field. That one way closer than Ty's hit was in that last half inning. And Amory providing the Stallions their leadoff double and their second extra base hit in the night.
And it seemed like that was a similar spot to what we saw with J.P. Ty in that last inning after that 2 RBI double. But now Mason Speaker stepping on up, trying to corral hit number 3 for the bottom 3 in this batting order. So far, 1 of 2 with a single and a looking strikeout, as Kendall puts that one into the dirt for a 1-0 count. And for the Stallions, they've been managing to get on Will Kendall from St. Thomas Aquinas. 15 total runs entering tonight against the pitcher. The 1-0 sent down the right field line, but will hook foul towards the fence.
And talking more about the man on second base, it's now a 3-game hitting streak for Nico Amory.
And he's looking to do things other than just draw walks for the Stallions. And I believe we mentioned that last time we were here in Eastfield. Nico Amory managing to draw walks in pairs, like how Velociraptors attack and hunt. Speaker takes that one up and away for a 2-1 count.
Yeah, I wasn't on that call when you made the comparison. Kyle was kind of filling me in right after the call. I was extremely confused.
Well, now you know. Kids, remember, Velociraptors attack in pairs. Nice history lesson for you. Just around the time when school is about to start back up soon, as Speaker takes out one low and inside for a 3-1 count.
School's starting up soon. They still have like another month and a half.
Some schools in the South might start up soon.
I don't remember New York being in the South, but okay.
Well, maybe we have some viewers in the southern markets. We could. You never know. Here's the 3-1 from Speaker. It'll chop right over to the third base to Castro, making the throw on to first for the first out of the inning. A G5-3 in the scorebook. Now it'll bring up T.J. Adams so far. 0 of 2 on the night. Struck out looking and swinging both times. He now steps up with a runner on second and 1 out after that leadoff double from Nico Amory. Kendall with a very close stance here. Amory playing off that second base bag. Kendall kicks and fires, and that'll go up and away for ball 1. It seems like Amory is really trying to mess up the timing of Kendall's motion and mechanics. Now stepping up into the windup here. Kendall taking his time. A silence falls upon Z's field. Kendall fires down low for a 2-0 count now.
And T.J. Adams in his last 3 games now struck out 5 times. Has walked 4 times, so he's getting kind of the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. Staying patient at the plate has its ups and downs, folks. T.J. Adams is a great case of that. The 2-0 swung on and missed for strike 1. And the Benchwarmers clip playing around East Field, a similar clip to what we have.
Wonder where they got that. I wonder where they got that from.
I couldn't tell you. Kendall looking over, back at that second base. Amory fakes a huge lead off, and that's a very questionable strike call on the inside edge.
I'm shocked at that call. Adams had to bounce out of the way of that one. It was well inside. The count's even at 2, though.
Kendall catching a huge break from the man in blue behind home plate. Here's a 2-2. Down low for a 3-2 count now. I mean, that ball was well in. Adams had to move out of the way of that one in. Now a 3-2 count here for the right fielder. Rogers, the top man in the order, on deck. Kendall kicks and fires. Down low and inside for a ball 4, and 2 runners are now on for the top of the order.
We talked about best of both worlds with T.J. Adams. We saw one end of it with the 2 strikeouts, and now his first walk of the day.
Best of both worlds, Hannah Montana, as Logan likes to say.
I do?
We'll let the fans think you do.
Okay.
All right, he has now Jelani Rogers stepping on up with 1 out and 2 runners on. First pitch he sees will be upstairs for ball 1. So
Rogers had a great day. I know you're going to say the same exact thing.
Absolutely.
Had a great day at the plate. 2 for 3 with 2 singles.
And he managed to reach the second via an error by Bowman at shortstop. Rogers tips that one on a check swing, and that'll go out of play. Count now sitting at 1-1. And a quick update on an East score. Oneonta now adding 2 runs in the 4th inning to go up 5-2 against the Dutchman in Game 2 of a 7-inning doubleheader. Kendall looks back and fires. Upstairs pitch. 2-1 count now, and with Oneonta entering the day with a 17-17 record compared to Albany's 16-17. That could potentially drop Albany all the way out of the pack in 5th place.
Not too far out of the pack.
Not too far, but could be far enough. Rogers sends a screamer down the third base line, but ruling foul. And that was a great dodge right there by third base coach Adam Cray.
That's just what I was going to say. Those are hits that will scare these base coaches for life. Jelani Rogers hit that one extremely hard. Not in play, but hard. And Cray was just able to get out of the way of it.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those down his way. One of them knocking him all the way down to the ground. Unfortunately, we did not catch that angle, so Cray got lucky. 2-2 up and away for a full count now. And now Kendall is in danger of loading up the bases for Goforth. Even though he finds himself 0 of 2 on the night, still a dangerous hitter as of late. The payoff pitch to Rogers, swung on and a chopper over to second base, and that'll get past the glove of Cubello. Amory on his horse to third, and that'll be a single by Jelani Rogers, and it loads the bases full of ponies.
Now 3 for 4, Jelani Rogers at the plate, and that was great base running out on first by TJ Adams. Didn't get too far off that first base bag, so if Cubello was able to catch that one out at second, he would have had an easy trot back to that first base bag, but he was able to get halfway, and he was far enough that he wasn't going to get gunned down at second as well by Kirpada.
Now Evan Goforth stepping up with 1 out, and the base is juiced. And that pitch will hit him, and that'll drive in a run. 6-0 Stallions.
Goforth didn't have to do much to get his RBI, but he got it, and now he's on base for the second time today, and now it's happened once against these Dragons. While we were here, Brandon Fish represents the Mercy Rule run at the plate.
And we've seen the power coming off the bat of Fish, managing to hit his first home run, which was a grand slam to go up 5-0 against the Albany Dutchmen in their second game at Keenholz Park. Now has an opportunity to be the Mercy Rule run, as the Stallions now have a 6-0 lead, and a quick mound visit between Glens Falls to try to calm down Will Kendall.
And of course, the game wouldn't end should the Stallions get to 10 in this inning. They would still have to play a whole nother inning.
And they'd have to get 6 outs if they manage to get 10 runs. And some action ramping up in the Glens Falls bullpen. Fish will take that one low and inside, for ball number 1.
Fish had a very productive day at the plate so far. 2 for 2 with a sacrifice fly.
Very productive day. Came all the way around to score back in the first inning. Looking to drive in some more runs here. That one goes well inside for a 2-0 count.
Will Kendall almost hit his second consecutive batter, but Fish was able to just get out of the way of it.
Action continuing to ramp up in that Glens Falls bullpen. It looks like Will Conroy is warming his arm up, as Fish will take that one low for a 3-0 count.
Yeah, and Kendall in the mid-40s in terms of his pitch count. He's really struggled through his first inning and a third of action. Already allowed 4 runs.
Here's a 3-0 to Fish. That'll go upstairs for ball 4, and now it's a 7-0 Stallion lead.
Stallions getting those runs any way they possibly can, and for Brandon Fish, he's had productive at-bats all 4 times, and out comes that Glens Falls coach.
And now it's looking like Will Conroy will step on in after Will Kendall lets up 5 runs here in his 1 1/3 innings pitch. And now Will Conroy will set to take the mound. And this is not the first time that Will Conroy has faced the Stallions this week. He managed to be in both games earlier, pitching a total of 3 2/3 innings, 3 runs allowed on 3 hits total, all of them coming in that Sunday, July 10th game.
And Conroy coming today with a 13.75 ERA. Does have 20 strikeouts through his 17 2/3 innings pitched, but was a rough relief outing for Will Kendall. You mentioned he gave up 5 runs and is responsible for all 3 of those base runners.
Absolutely, and now he'll have to step up with Garrison Berkeley to lead things off. It seems like Colin Martin is coming out to the home plate umpire to talk things over to see what's going on with them. But overall in the season for Conroy, 0 of 2 with a 13.75 ERA and in 17 2/3, 20 strikeouts, 20 walks, 25 hits. In his last outing, he managed to pitch 3 innings of no-hit baseball, only allowing 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. We'll take a look at the final stat line for Will Kendall. 1 1/3 inning pitch, allowing 4 hits, 3 walks, no strikeouts. Currently has 5 runs, 4 earned right now. And we'll see if Conroy can get out of this bases-loaded jam that he finds himself in. And we'd like to remind you that tonight's broadcast of Saugerties Stallions baseball from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth is brought to you by Pretorius and Conrad, Civil and Environmental Engineering and Land Surveying, and by the Rip Van Winkle Country Club. Bring your swing to the Rip. And that's exactly what the Stallions have done so far. 7 runs with 9 hits, no errors, compared to the Glens Falls 6 hits, no runs, 1 error. And taking a look on the base paths right now for the Stallions, Jelani Rogers sitting at that third base bag, followed by Goforth getting on via the hit by pitch in the first pitch that he saw from Will Kendall in his second at-bat against Kendall. And now Brandon Fish getting on via a walk. Now that'll bring up Garrison Berkeley, who has still yet to find hit number 1 on the night.
But he did get on via a hit by pitch. His last go around, he got on against Kendall and was able to steal second base.
Now looking to drive in the dagger that would put the mercy rule into effect. With 1 out here and runners loaded. Berkeley swings on that one, but pops it foul. Conroy, the first time he's given up no-hit baseball was his Wednesday performance against the Stallions in those 3 innings. 0-1, cut on and missed for strike 2, and Berkeley is now in danger of striking out for the 3rd time tonight.
Just a nasty breaking ball from Conroy. Had a big break on it, and it just caught that outside part of the zone. Berkeley well early on it.
Conroy with the 0-2. Swung on and driven into right center field. That'll go down for a base hit. The ball rolls to the wall. Rogers will score. Goforth and Fish coming all the way around to third. Berkeley on his high horse to third base. And it's a 3 RBI triple for Garrison Berkeley. 10-0 Stallions.
How about that from Garrison Berkeley? The bases clearing triple to put the Stallions up double digits. It's been a very effective 6th inning, getting 5 runs to come across. And what a good time to get your first hit if you're Garrison Berkeley on the day.
And now that'll bring up David Shackleford here with the mercy rule coming into effect this next inning as he fouls that one off into the backstop. Talk about a rip right there. It seemed like Listing had a good angle on it, but it bounced right past him and was rolling right to the warning track and the wall. Now with the runner 90 feet away, Shackleford in an 0-1 count with 1 out. That'll go out low and away. 4-1. Count now even. And all 3 of those runs will be tacked on to Kendall's stat line. So 8 runs, 7 earned for Kendall. The 1-1 fouled back into the netting again and making it a 1-2 count here with 1 out. Taking a look here, a 5 spot on the board for the Stallions. So far, 10 hits, 10 runs. And And there was no question for Fish about it. He was on a Goforth's tail the entire time. 1-2 will be called strike 3 on Shackleford, and he'll take a seat.
And Fish had the better angle of that ball hit from Berkeley as he was right along that first base line on his way to second. So he knew from the start that was going to drop. Goforth had a bit tougher of an angle to see. So they were kind of coming to cross home plate pretty much at the same time.
Now the ninth batter stepping up this inning will be J.P. Tye, and he'll take that first pitch outside for strike number 1. So far, 2 Stallion hitters have yet to reach base today, one being Mason Speaker, one being David Shackleford. Tye will take that well outside for an even count of 1-1. We are currently in the top of the 6th here. Stallions leading 10-0 on the Glens Falls Dragons from East Field. 1-1 popped up into the infield. Berkeley coming home, and Manette will make the catch for the third and final out of the inning, but not before 5 Stallion base runners come across to make it a 10-0 Stallion lead heading into the bottom of the 6th. Don't go anywhere. More action to come from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. Welcome back to Eastfield here. The Saugerties Stallions leading 10-0 heading into the bottom of the 6th from Eastfield in Glens Falls, New York. John Drager alongside Logan Baranis, and a 5-run at top 6th inning for Saugerties.
Yeah, and that was all capped off by that Garrison Berkeley 3-run triple, but Stallions really attacking on these bullpen arms that Glens Falls has thrown out there.
TJ Lopez out for his third inning of work. First pitch ground ball over to shortstop. Goforth making the fire on over to first for the out. Cubello taking a seat early, 1 away. That'll be ruled a G6-3, and now they'll bring up Corey Listing so far, who's 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles. Got caught stealing second back in the 4th inning.
Yeah, and Listing hasn't made it to second yet in either of his appearances.
Now, only 2 Glens Falls base runners have made it to second base. One being Mario Cubella, who took a seat. The other one being Will Manette. First pitch Listing sees will break inside for ball number 1. Now working with a 1-0 count here and 1 out, TJ Lopez. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball way inside. Listing out Doug for that one, 2-0.
And Lopez was Listing was the first hitter to face Lopez back in the 4th inning. Hit that single.
Listing ducking out of the way of that one. Lopez really trying to work the inside edge. Now a 3-0 count.
We've seen that a lot, especially since this home plate umpire doesn't like these outside pitches as much for either side, so it's probably just strategy from TJ.
TJ now with the 3-0 pitch. downstairs for ball 4, and it's a 4-pitch walk after that immediate ground out.
And we'll see just how aggressive these Dragons are on the base paths, considering they do need 1 run to keep this game going past that 7th inning.
And we mentioned that the Dragons have 68 stolen bases, but got caught 27 times now. Here, a few of those times came from Nico Amory, and now Reese DeCastro stepping up. So far finds himself 1 of 2 on the night with a 5-3 double play back in the first and a single in the fourth, as he'll take that one outside for strike number 1. And giving a little update on the out-of-town scores, the Oneonta Outlaws now leading 6-2 in the bottom of the 5th at Damaski Field in Game 2 of a 2-game doubleheader. Time will be called here by DeCastro as he takes a step out. And so far, the Stallions have been able to get the bats going here, currently in the midst of a 4-game win streak. 2 of those wins right here at East Field against Glens Falls. As the catcher will take that one low for ball 1. And this all started originally from an Oneonta loss 6-5 at Damaski Field, but the Stallions from there regrouped, managed to get a huge 17-4 win against Glens Falls back on Sunday, and has been rolling since. DeCastro fouls that one off back into the backstop for a 1-2 count. DeCastro, a .258 hitter on the year, 11 RBIs as well, 2 home runs this season. Lopez now working from the stretch. He fires the 1-2 low into the dirt, losing track of that one, but Amory hustling to grab that one, and Listing will retreat back to first.
And last time he was up on that first base bag, that was a pitch that Listing probably would have taken off for second on.
Absolutely, but I think he learned from that 4th inning that Nico Amory, he'll get you. He'll get you on the base paths. Here's the 2-2 from Lopez. Swung on and driven into right field. Adams tracking that one. He'll make the grab for out number 2. Adams not having to move a lot from that one. And now 2 away here for the Stallions in the bottom of the 6th. And that'll bring up Danny Mosher, the first baseman. So far flew out twice to the outfielders in Jelani Rogers and David Shackleford.
And Adams maybe had to move about 2 or 3 steps to his right to make that grab. It was hard to hit, but he had a lot of time to move out there.
Crowd going silent here at East Park, as it was a large crowd early on, but fans have been filing out quickly as that pitch from Lopez goes upstairs for ball number 1.
A lot of little leaguers here today.
There was a lot of little leaguers. I mean, the players from Saugerties were actually giving them fist bumps as they made a tunnel to enter this property. Felt like pros out there. The 1-0 driven into shallow center field. To go for tracking that one. He'll make the grab for the 3rd and final out. What a job there by the shortstop from Indiana. And now we'll head into the top of the 7th here with the Stallions holding on to a 10-0 lead. Don't go anywhere. More action from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. Saugerties Stallion Baseball brought to you by the Saugerties Athletic Association, where having fun is what matters. By Sawyer Savings, local banking is baking made easier. And Stella Artois, grab a nice cold Stella at the Stallions Watering Trough. And it seems like the Stallions are kicking back and taking this game as they currently lead at 10-0, heading into the top of the 7th. And a new pitcher entering in for the Glens Falls Dragons as Conroy's day is done after 2/3 innings. Enter Joey Laurer from Saratoga Springs, New York, attending Siena University, and so far has a 30.37 ERA to his name. He'll face off against Brett Heckert. So he'll throw that one upstairs and inside for ball 1. Not even close to the strike zone. So far in the air, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, 17 walks. Last appearance against the Stallions back on Sunday, July 10th. The 1-0 up and in again. Heckert ducking away for the second straight pitch. 2-0 count now. And his last appearance went 1 inning. Gave up 6 runs on 1 hit with 4 walks and no strikeouts on the day. 2-0 down Main Street for strike number 1. Laura now working from the stretch. Kicks and fires. 2-1 going upstairs for a 3-1 count. And Will Conroy's day ending after 2/3 of an inning, giving up 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Laura puts that one on the inside corner for strike 2. Count now sitting at full. Nico Amory on deck, and Heckert swings and misses for strike number 3. 1 away early here for Glens Falls. Heckert his second strikeout on the night. That'll bring out the catcher in Nico Amory. Amory was the first batter to lead off in the top of the 6th with a lead-off double that started a 5-run rally for the Stallions. First pitch he sees will go low and inside for a ball. And this is not the first time that the Stallions managed to have a 5-run rally. He was able to happen on that 17-4 win back on Sunday. Amory takes on one outside for strike number 1. Count now even. Amory so far 1 of 3 with that leadoff double and 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging and 1 looking. He'll send the ball over to third base to Castro making the grab. Fires it over to first, and that'll go past the glove of Mosher. Amory heading to second base and will go in standing. So we'll see if it'll be ruled a hit or an error. And that looks like it will be ruled an error right there. And it'll be ruled an E5 onto Castro. The second error on the night for the Glens Falls Dragons, both on that left side of the infield. And that'll bring up Mason Speaker. Currently finds himself 1 of 3 with a single back in the 4th inning. Grounded out in the 6th and struck out looking back in the 2nd. As part of 3 straight looking strikeouts. As Speaker will take that one low for ball 1. Speaker now taking that one low again, this time on the outside edge for a 2-0 count now. So far, Glens Falls relievers have not been helping out Daniel Cohen too much on the year. As Speaker sends a high chopper over the third base line, but hooking foul. Count now sitting at 2-1, and going back to the relief pitching so far, in 2 innings, a total of 8 runs giving up. This was a 2-0 ball game heading into the 5th inning, but Will Kendall giving up 8 runs to his name made this a 10-0 ball game in a blink of an eye. As Speaker will take that one low for a 2-2 count now. Stallions looking to avoid getting a 2-out runner on situation here with a runner in scoring position in Amory reaching on the E5 by DeCastro. Speaker moving out of the way of that one on the inside edge. Count now worked full. Speaker now digging back in. The pitch driven out into left field for a base hit. Bowman hopping up that one, and that'll put runners on the corners here. Both catchers getting on base. And one out, runners on the corners for TJ Adams, who will step up. Speaker's second hit on the night. And now 11 hits total for the Stallions. And TJ Adams looking for a hit number 1 on the night. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk back in that 5-run 6th inning. Adams will take that first pitch outside for strike number 1. And for Lauer, it looks like he's pitch count is slowly creeping up into the 20s as Speaker will retreat back to the first base after the pickoff attempt from Lauer. Lauer sends that one outside again. 2-1 count now. And those 6 runs given up against the Stallions back on July 10th are a good reason why his ERA is up in the 30s. As TJ Adams sends that one over the press box and out of play for a 2-2 count. Runners on the corners here. 1-2 count with 1 out. Lauer kicks and fires. And a called strike 3 for TJ Adams, and he'll take a seat on the pine for the 3rd time tonight. That'll bring us back to the top of the order in Jelani Rogers, looking to create some insurance runs here. So far, Rogers, a 3-hit night. All of them being singles, came around twice to score. I'll take that first pitch low into the dirt for ball 1. Rogers advancing to second base, back in the 5th inning on an E6 thrown by Phoenix Bowman. 1-0, driven down the third base line, but hooking foul. Adam Craig getting out of the way of that one. Count now sitting even at 1. And Stallions will travel back to Cantine Field tomorrow to take on the Glens Falls Dragons again for the 2nd straight day and the 4th time this week. Coverage starting at 7:05. Rogers pops that one up into shallow right field. Bowman tracking that one and making the grab for the 3rd and final out. It's going to be last licks time here for the Glens Falls Dragons if they can't seem to cook up 1 run. After 6.5 innings, the Stallions have a chance to close out this 3rd game against Glens Falls. Don't go anywhere. More action to come from the Ulster Savings broadcast booth. Saugerties Stallion Baseball brought to you by Steyr, celebrating over 50 years of keeping you on the road. The facility, promoting physical fitness and athleticism in a fun, safe manner. The Emerson Resort. Treat yourself to a getaway at the Emerson. By Volna Uniline and Ulster Federal Credit Union. Get rewarded with Ulster Federal Credit Union. The bottom of the 7th we had, and this could be the potential last inning in this ball game. TJ Lopez out on the mound again, facing off against Phoenix Bowman, the shortstop. First pitch, Bowman sees, will catch that upstairs corner for strike number 1. Lopez entering his 4th inning of work. Bowman sends that one into deep center field. Rogers tracking that one right near the warning track, and he'll make the grab for out number 1. And for Bowman, that was the 2nd time he has flown out in this game. Once to Brandon Fish on an infield fly, and now that'll bring up the catcher in Will Manette. Managed to go 1 for 2 heading into this at-bat with a single and a ground out on a comebacker to Noah DeLuga. And we'd like to remind you that tomorrow the Stallions will head back home to Cantine to take on these Glens Falls Dragons. First pitch at 7:05. You can catch all the action here on the Saugerties Stallions YouTube channel. Manette fouls that one off back for a 0-1 count. And taking a quick look at the out-of-town scores, Oneonta still leading 6-2 in the bottom of the 6th against the Albany Dutchmen. Amsterdam holding on to a 6-3 lead over Mohawk Valley in the bottom of the 8th. Goforth making the grab, throwing it all the way over to first, but called safe on the infield single by Will Manette, his 2nd single of the night. And still 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Glens Falls having some semblance of life. Now Sam Browning stepping up, 0 for 2 on the night. So far struck out back in the 5th, grounded out to the 3rd baseman and Fish to end that 2nd inning. First pitch swinging goes Browning for strike number 1. So far, Glens Falls not reaching to that 3rd base bag tonight, as the farthest they've gone was 2nd. That happened 3 times today. The 0-1 from Lopez, called strike 2 here, and Browning is in a hole right here, 0-2. Lopez now looking to strike out Browning here in 3 pitches. The pitch outside and up for a 1-2 count. The Stallions on the cusp of winning their 5th straight game this week. The 1-2 from Lopez, low and away for a count even at 2-2. And this all started with a 17-4 victory on Sunday against these Dragons right here at Eastfield. Started a 4-game win streak. Now looking for 5. Swing and a miss for strike number 3. Down goes Browning again on strikes, the 2nd time tonight. And now Quentin Bowman, the potential last batter here for Glens Falls, as the Stallions are 1 out away from securing the victory. Lopez looking to finish off Bowman here as that pitch goes low and outside for strike number 1. Painting that corner like Sherman Williams. Manette still on first. 2 outs here. An 0-1 count to Bowman. The pitch from Lopez well inside. Almost hit Quentin. Count now even at 1. Potentially the 2nd game tonight to end in 7 innings as Bowman pops that one up foul. The first game that ended earlier today after 2.5 hours, the Batavia Muck Dogs out of the West defeating Jamestown 16-4 after 7 innings, and Batavia taking a huge lead in that West Division as the first place team. Swing and a miss, strike 3. There's your ball game. The Saugerties Stallions defeat the Glens Falls Dragons 10-0 after 7 innings. What a day here for Stallions fans. Their 5th in a row. And now we seem to be having high fives all around here as the Stallions are looking to continue on their road of dominance. And now we'll have the handshakes coming here, and we'll quickly be joined by our correspondent and Logan Brandis just shortly with our player of the game. And it looks like that will come from your third baseman in Brandon Fish. So far, managing to get on base 3 times tonight, 2 of them by singles, and scoring twice, having a sacrifice RBI. It was a very successful night for the third baseman. And the Stallions now 5 wins in a row, helping out in many ways possible. The Stallions will now improve to 21-15-1 on the year, as now the Glens Falls Dragons lose their 30th game of the season. And taking a look, it's going to be a long drive back home for the Stallions, as they're going to be celebrating after winning 5 straight, as we'll soon be joined by our player of the game and Brandon Fish here just shortly, as he managed to go for 2 for 2 on the night with an RBI and 2 runs on the year. And it looks like our crew is just about set to join us here from East Field. And we'll now go down to the field to join Logan Brandis, who has our player of the game in Brandon Fish. So Logan, take it away.
Thanks, John. I'm down here with tonight's Ulster Savings Player of the Game in Brandon Fish. And Brandon, you had 2 singles today, the 5th game in a row you've had 2 hits. What have you been seeing at the plate in these recent week?
I'm just kind of putting the bat on the ball right now. I'm not feeling the greatest, but I'm putting stuff together, and balls are falling. So that's kind of baseball. You feel good. You might not get hits, or you don't feel as good. Hits will fall in.
5th win in a row right now for the Stallions. What's the vibe in the locker room day in and day out?
I think we're playing very loose. Some big hits today, especially from Berkeley, that base clearing triple he had there. Jelani's hitting. Everybody's hitting. So, we're playing loose. We're playing good baseball, and that's what it's about. So,
thanks, Brandon. That was Brandon Fish, tonight's Ulster Savings Player of the Game. John, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Logan. Your final score here from East Field for the 3rd time this week, 10-0. The Stallions take it to win their 5th in a row. And join us tomorrow at Cantine Field, where the Glens Falls Dragons travel to take on the Saugerties Stallions for the 2nd day in a row. But that'll do it here from the traveling Ulster Savings broadcast booth for our partner in Logan Brandis and our 3rd member in Kyle McMullen, who couldn't make the trip today, but we do wish him the best. I'm John Drager, signing off for now, and we will see you tomorrow at Cantine Field. Until then, have a great night.